All right. Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to our video blog post. I think the cool kids are cooler than me call it a vlog, but this is our opportunity to share with the wider teaching and learning York community about our experiential education or EE Symposium. I'm Lisa Endersby. I'm an educational developer in the Teaching Commons. And one of my favorite parts of my portfolio is to talk about experiential education with faculty, students, and staff. So we will, in a moment, introduce all of our other, this is a small subsection of the village that it took to create the Experiential Education Symposium. But I have a few questions for these folks. So folks, when I turn it over to you to answer the question, you can also introduce yourself by talking about who you are and what you do at York. So the first question, Kathleen, I'll start with you. How would you describe the purpose and goals of the Experiential Education or EE Symposium?
Thanks, Lisa. First of all, again, my name is Kathleen Winningham, and I'm the director of the YU Experience Hub. We report into the Associate Vice President, Teaching and Learning, and we're responsible for promoting and enhancing and supporting EE across the campus here at York University. So the EE Symposium, it was our third annual one this year, and it was a remote event, and it was a great event. And really, the purpose of the EE Symposium is to celebrate all the wonderful experiential education activities that students participate in and learn more about how it's informed their career growth, how it's helped them in their academic studies. And it really is a great afternoon of celebration. So for me, that's what the EE Symposium is.
Thanks, Kathleen. And Christina, I'm going to ask you to answer the same question as our student rep, student voice, and very valuable student contributor to our EE Symposium committee team group. Anyway, Christina, to you, same question. How would you describe the purpose and goals of the EE Symposium?
Having participated in it and also encouraged other students to get involved, it's a chance to show how us as students are putting our academic experience to impact local community being on campus-wide initiatives and to the greater community and sometimes even the world in some projects. It's a chance for us to showcase our work as well as the work that staff and faculty have contributed, and it's allowing all the efforts that our education has given us to be shared to others and kind of encourage others to get involved. And that sometimes sparks projects or creates those connections that in the moment you think it's just a conversation that's of a support of your project, but years down the road could be, oh, I recall you did work on how you assisted in a nursing home, assisting with this. I think you can add some input here. So it's definitely a lifelong lesson, but as well as an experience in the moment that you can't get in any other way.
Thanks so much, Christina. And just to say, this is absolutely a plug and a promotion for why we need students on our planning committees. Thanks so much, Christina. So my next question, and I will ask Sophie this question. Sophie, what is one important takeaway from your experience planning and or facilitating and or attending the EE Symposium?
Well, I think one thing I would mention is the value of it being a sort of interdepartmental cross-campus team, which I think we've enhanced as well as we've gone through the years, and now it's really eye-opening to work with, those involved in teaching and learning, like the YU Experience Hub and the Teaching Commons who report to the AVP Teaching and Learning. But we also have the EE coordinators now on our group who have sort of very strong faculty-based roots. And then we have a student rep, as Christina has been for us. And then the libraries, where I come from, I think gives yet another angle. So I always find that aspect, very rewarding and eye-opening.
Thanks, Sophie. And you're right. I really appreciated the interconnectedness of our team, or the cross-campus feel of our team. And I know it goes without saying, but particularly now when we're all still remote, that we have the chance to connect with folks that we really now don't get the chance to meet with and to build on each other's experiences and expertise. So Rosanna, same question for you. An important takeaway from your new experience with us, planning, facilitating, and or attending the symposium.
Thanks, Lisa. So, like Lisa mentioned, I'm Rosanna. I'm the Experiential Education Coordinator in the Faculty of Environmental and Urban Change. In terms of my key takeaway, will say while there's like a lot that goes behind the scenes just to organize such an event, it takes even more when it's during a pandemic. So, having a supportive and effective team was one of my key takeaways because just like many of us, we have lots of meetings to go to. And this was one meeting I always looked forward to because we were a very supportive team, very communicative, and everybody was always ready to jump and give feedback just to make sure that the flow of our planning worked well and that whatever our deliverables were, they got executed. So having a great team, like this is just a couple of them, but we've had some other members, so that was really great. And then in terms of attending, I just have to say kudos to the students. You could literally see the passion. I already knew they were going to do great, but just seeing them while they were doing it was even like more impactful because of the passion behind of what they did. They had a lot of projects where there's social impact in it, and you can really see the learning curve that they had from beginning to end, and the skills that they took from it and how it's going to help them in the future and how they plan to continue, either volunteering with some of those organizations that they got to interact with.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rosanna. And it's, I guess, a benefit and a challenge of a remote event. Luckily, I wasn't on camera where I kept like nodding like crazy every time every student spoke and was just like so excited. You're right. The passion and the depth of knowledge and critical thinking that they shared. And like you were alluding to, Christina, how that inspired their current work, but how it could potentially inspire future work. Was really cool. And I think, again, Christina used the word showcase. So getting the chance to showcase that and to celebrate, which we don't get to do a lot of in these current times. Hopefully there will be people watching this in the future who we have met in person on campus together where we have the chance to come back together. But in this time, even though it was a remote event, as you were saying, Rosanna, the passion really came through in a way that we don't always get to see. So my final question, knowing I think we're gonna do this again, and our colleagues Meryl, Brittany, and Frida aren't here to tell us any different, but I'm hoping they would agree. And just to thank them as well, Kathleen, your team at the YU Hub did such a fantastic job supporting us, and Meryl, our other experiential education coordinator, was a great help too. And so all of us are turning our mind, maybe not immediately, but are thinking about doing this again at some point or another. So Kathleen, maybe we'll start with you and we'll get a couple other takes on this. What would you tell our colleagues who may be interested in participating? And that could be participating as a student or attending as a faculty or staff member. How might you encourage them to join us next year?
Well, I think the first thing I would say to one group, to faculty members, if you have students doing exciting experiential education activities, no matter in which bucket, whether it's in the class, in the community, or in the workplace, we really encourage you to encourage your students to apply for next year's symposium. That would be my first message for staff, EE coordinators, or anybody involved in EE. If you want to spend an inspiring afternoon celebrating the great EE activities that York University offers students and listen to how impactful those experiences are for students, I really, really encourage you to get involved. And finally, if you would like to join our committee, here's a little plug. We'd love to have you on our committee. And it's really been a joy working with all the people here today and the ones who can join us. So thanks. And thanks for putting this together, Lisa. This is great.
Oh, you're welcome. This is my inspiring part of the afternoon. Christina, anything you wanted to add from the student perspective? What would you say to other students to get them to participate and or attend the symposium?
Having the chance to present your work in a live format, of course, may seem intimidating, but all the nervousness and the risk is so worth the experience, not only to help myself and any group members I've done it with grow in presenting skills and communicating work, but it also helps as sometimes as a student, you think, oh, you're just doing this work because you have to for a grade. But something like this allows you to appreciate that your work does make a difference. It does inspire others. And sometimes bigger things can be made of it. And why not make an impact in an event like this with fellow students that you could inspire while also improving yourself. So I encourage any student to go for it. It's definitely worth the experience, and I regret not getting into it in my first year.
Oh, thanks, Christina. I'm going to splice this part of the video and just insert it into every faculty member's classroom when they talk about EE. I think that's such a brilliant way to put it. Thank you. Rosanna or Sophie, any last words? Anything else you wanted to share?
Just that, like, whether you're faculty, student, or staff, just go out and get involved with the EE Symposium, whether it's attending or highlighting some of the amazing projects you're doing in the classroom. Sometimes we get so busy, we don't see what our other colleagues are doing in different faculties. Everyone is engaging community partners or having their students out in the community, and students are gaining so many great skills. Use the EE Symposium to celebrate that and to celebrate your students' achievements, and come and celebrate with the students. It's a really great initiative, and it's always a great day, whether if it's in remotely or in person that we have the symposium. It's just a great way to appreciate all the hard work that both the students, faculties, and community partners are doing just to enhance the student experience.
Yeah, thanks, Rosanna. Now you have to follow that, Sophie.
I was just going to say, I think Rosanna did such a beautiful job of summarizing it, and I have nothing to add.
Thanks, Sophie. Well, thanks so much, everyone. There will be a short description and a link, hopefully, Brian, if you're paying attention, just below this video post that will give you more information about the Experiential Education Symposium. Brittany really took the lead on it, but all of us worked on creating our new website for the Experiential Education Symposium, so you can find more information there. And I have nothing more brilliant to add other than thank you. Thank you to all of you who are here. Thank you to the entire committee, and thank you to York for continuing to support what we know is a really important pedagogical initiative. And as Rosanna said, whether it is remote or in person, we know how powerful and important this work is. And we're looking forward, I think, looking forward with enough distance from the event, looking forward to doing it again. Thanks so much, everyone.